So there are tons of brands out there that aren't very popular in the United States or aren't very well known in the United States, and there's a few different reasons for that. A lot of those reasons stem in the fact that they don't spend a lot of money in advertising. Even if they don't spend a lot of money in advertising in the United States, maybe they don't even spend a lot of money in advertising in Europe, so the word doesn't really get around. One of those brands that I've actually known about for a very long time, because they've been making watches for a very long time, is Bernhard H. Mayer. But there are tons of other brands out there, as I mentioned, that I love to feature on this channel. So I'm really excited to show you this watch. This is for their 150th anniversary. So they've made watches for a very long time, for 150 years. And the packaging on this watch is pretty spectacular. It comes in a wood box. The etching here is actually of their factory. It says 150th anniversary. This is in metal. And then there is the name of the brand right there. What a beautiful box. You can see there, it's signed on the inside. There is a statement of authenticity, which is basically just a warranty card as well. There's a little microfiber cloth in here, a little book on 150 years. Which is pretty cool. User manual also. And then a quick watch guide just telling you how to operate the watch. And then, of course, you get a watch. This is a wood box. This is a beautifully finished wood box. You have sort of like a dark wood here and then a darker wood that goes along the outside. There's actually metal inserts on the side of the watch box itself. And you can see the brackets are all really nicely made. It's just a beautiful watch box that this comes in. And then it also comes with this sort of little care kit for your watch, which is interesting. It's just a cardboard box which has a magnetic enclosure. It comes with a watch tool, another book on Bernhard Mayer right here, Bernhard H. Mayer, and then a watch care kit, which is another microfiber cloth and a few other things in here that are pretty cool. I think there's gloves in here as well. Just really nice and thoughtful that it actually comes with this. So you can immediately notice a few things about this watch, but the first thing you're probably going to notice is that large coin right there in the actual dial. That is a sterling silver coin, and that coin is actually of the same thing that was on the outside of the box, their factory, and it just is obviously in celebration of 150 years. Now, this gets a Swiss-made movement, and I'm just going to wind it a little bit here. It gets a Sellita SW200. You're also going to notice that it has a very interesting case shape. It's not a TV screen case shape. It has a round bezel, but it also has like a tonneau shape to it. So it's like a round bezel on a tonneau shaped case, which is interesting. And it's also angular at the same time. A very interesting way of making a case here, and it is finished very, very nicely. So you have a polished bezel with the top of the bezel being brushed. Then you have the case with the case top being brushed. Then you have a chamfered edge that runs along the side of the top of the case. Then you have brushing again. Then you have polishing, another chamfered edge. Then the case back, you have polishing that goes all the way around, and then brushing on the top. You get to see the movement. Now, the movement in here, as I mentioned, is a Sellita SW200. It is signed Bernhard H. Mayer, and it's signed with blue ink. It looks actually really good. I'll do a close-up of that. Deployment buckle on the strap. I believe this is an embossed strap, so this is not crocodile, but it is an embossed leather strap, and it comes with a really nice bespoke double deployment buckle on here. Really nice, actually. Feels really nice as well. The dial is a sunburst dial, and you have applied indices on the outer track. There's an inner track, which is the minute track. That's sort of applied to the dial as well. Inboard of that, then you have Bernhard Mayer, Bernhard H. Mayer, and then the logo above there, 150th anniversary automatic there above the 6 o'clock index. And that coin replaces and sits in that sort of track, that minute track that goes around the dial. I'll do close-ups of it so you can see that coin is actually pretty cool. Now, you don't get a screwed-in crown. I think you only get like 50 meters or 100 meters of water resistance, which is not bad. Actually, it's 100 meters, excuse me. And then you get sword hands on here as well. Non-screwed-in crown, but you do get a sign crown. And the crown is actually pretty grippy. You could wind with it. I don't suggest you wind an SW200. You should just wear it because winding it puts pressure on the stem and obviously would cause issues. So I never wind my watches, but there you go. So this is a 40, it's like a 43 43 millimeter watch is what I have measured it. I think they say it's like 42 millimeters and a half on their website. But every time I have measured it, I've gotten it around 43 millimeters, basically spot on. And then the lug to lug on here is 50 millimeters, so 50.7 millimeters. Crown is small, but it is grippy, 6.7 millimeters, not terrible, pretty decently sized. And then it's actually thin, 11 millimeters thick. That's including the sapphire crystal. The sapphire crystal is basically flat and is on the same level of the bezel itself, so flat with the bezel. Screwed in case back, and you just have a little bit of information on the watch. This is a limited edition. I think it's a limited edition of 1,871. That is the year that they actually started business, so I think that's the reason why they chose that. They also made a gold version in this, and that's a solid gold version. I think it's limited to just a few watches. I think it was like 30 or 80 or something like that. I don't remember the exact number. However, that got a different movement, actually a really cool modified Unitas movement that was made to be automatic. Really cool, very good looking watch. That's in solid rose gold, and you also get a rose gold coin in the dial rather than a sterling silver coin. But that sterling silver coin is pretty cool. I really like that they did that. I think it looks really good. Applied indices, as I mentioned, the indices sort of remind me of IWC a little bit. I don't know, maybe that's just me. I really like the indices. I like the font that they've used. I think it looks really good. Let me throw it on my wrist really quickly. I don't think there is any lume on here because this is a dress watch, or should be considered a dress watch. Although it does have 100 meters of water resistance, kind of like a mix between a sport dress watch, I guess you can call it. It is also larger, on the larger side. So and it definitely wears like a 43 millimeter watch. So let me throw it on my wrist really quickly. Before I do, today I am wearing my Tudor. This is the P01, which I fitted to a Tudor bracelet. Super proud of this. I've been wearing it over the past few days. If you have seen my Instagram, I love this watch. I think it's weird looking, and that's kind of the reason why I love it. Anyway, let's throw the Bernhard H Mayer on my 7.5 inch wrist. You can see it wears large. It actually wears larger than my P01, I would say, which is a 42.5 millimeter watch. So definitely wears like a 43 millimeter watch, almost like a 44 millimeter watch. And that's because you do have a pretty good lug span on here of 50.7. It's not incredibly thick, so you do have a large sort of dial on here and a very thin bezel. That makes it look larger than it actually is. And that kind of lends to that. It is a 43 millimeter watch, so it measures about 43 millimeters. But I think I could pull it off on my 7.5 inch wrist. Like I said, I always wear watches below 44 millimeters, and I have watches that are above 44 millimeters that I think are large, but I still can pull off. So I think I could pull this off. I do like it. I really like the look of this watch. I have to say one thing about them. Semir, they're also associated with Semir as well. They make high quality watches that are really nicely finished. Just look at the dial on this. The dial on here is phenomenal. It really is. Now, I could have done without the coin. They don't put a date in here. I could have done without the coin. If there was no coin here, this would have looked a lot more balanced, and it would have given me sort of like a Vacheron sort of feel on the dial. The case, not so much, because the case is very different from, a lot of watches. This is a very, sort of distinctive case. But the dial gives you a lot of vibes from IWC and Vacheron, and specifically, I don't even know the model Vacheron, but I'll throw up a picture of one if I could remember it. Really cool, very, very good looking watch. Anyway, the price on here, because we don't have a lume shot because there is no lume, is $2,190, so $2,190. That is expensive considering that it gets an SW200. However, you get that silver in the dial, so that's something either you love or hate. And in general, I think it's a very well-made watch, very well-finished watch. The buckle is really, everything is pretty bespoke on this watch. So $2,100, considering the package, yes, that is expensive, but if you want something that is Swiss-made from a brand that's been around for a very long time, I don't think that's a terrible price. But tell me what you guys think in the comments below. I want to hear from you guys. And that's really it. I have no loom shot, as I mentioned, because there is no loom on here. There's just different finishing down the center of the hand, so it looks like there's loom there, but there isn't. Just a very interesting offering for a brand that's been around for a while that basically in the United States isn't very popular. And hopefully that changes. Anyway, tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Like I said, I want to hear from you guys. Please also don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. It is super helpful for the channel, and I very much appreciate it. Please follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is WatchChrisBlog. I have some links in the description. Those links are to Amazon. If you click those links and buy anything, it helps support the channel. It doesn't cost you anything extra. However, I very much appreciate it. Anyway, thank you for logging on. I'll catch you guys in the next video.